I love Pringles.
Human diarrhea chips.
I can eat a whole box in like one sitting.
You could probably do that with something else too, like Gushers.
Yeah.
Trademark Gushers.
It's this thing called self-control I don't have.
That's fine.
Unfortunately.
You get us a Gusher sponsorship.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I don't want that sponsorship.
Why not? You don't like diabetes?
No, it runs my family. I eat the healthiest of all of you, and I'm going to get diabetes first. I know that. I fucking know it.
I'll be the healthiest person ever probably later in life.
Later in life, right. Right, when you finally realize that you don't need to eat a bagel with shit on it every morning. I've
been cutting back on my bagels.
Good.
Say
that way.
I'm just saying, I think you might be the healthiest because you put your salad and soup together into one bowl.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Of course, that's the ultimate way to eat. No time for chewing.
Oh my! I'm so nervous for all of you right now.
Oh, I'm nervous for you, man. It's cool here. Okay, we're rolling. The show is rolling.
Touch me.
Zwick, you can leave all that in because we're a free format show now. Hi, welcome to Roast Mortem. It's a show that's totally free format.
I got jazz in my hands.
Zibby squat bop doo pop with it. Scross mortig.
That's us.
Wait, but what do we do if it's free form?
What's your name? Start with that.
I don't know. Do you really want to ask my name? Because the universe kind of tells me about my
I am
name.
your Cody for the evening.
Thank you.
This guy is a fascist.
He's a fascist indeed.
There
What
we
are you?
are.
Who are you?
I'm Jazz Hands Jones.
All right, Jazz Hands Jones in the building tonight. That's all four of us.
God.
So we got
How you
Skeet D.
Can we start over?
Why? What happened? Were you not rolling?
No, nothing. No, this is horrible.
You're like Jazz Hand Jones? That's like a cool ass name.
All right, so Zwick, leave that all in.
No, I'm joking.
I'm just saying. I mean, the universe dictates what my name could be, and I don't know. Maybe today it's Travis. Could be Jeff.
I think I saw that in your horoscope
Okay,
this
fair enough.
morning.
Okay, here we are. Let's bring it back in. A big part of freeform is knowing when you've gone too far. So let's get back to the show. Hi, guys. Where do we start the show with? I want to know how everyone's week is.
Oh, sure.
Jazz Hands, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, give me a second.
He's had too
You
much.
kill anyone? Did you kill anyone this week?
Zwick, edit this part a little bit.
No, not this week.
I mean, you've got a face like a killer now. You're killing it with the ladies.
Oh,
with
yeah,
that mustache ride.
Supposedly I look like a rapist.
Not supposedly.
Who said this?
The internet has chosen that I'm 47% rapist.
I gotta say, I was one of the 47%. I'm not gonna lie.
And I saw some dude jack off today on the side of the road. That's about it.
Right. Did he have a mustache? Doesn't matter. He turned around.
Looked like it.
You could do bad deeds with your back turned. We all know that. Cody, how was your week? What's your Twitter feed like?
Good. Surprisingly, nothing about food. Got this sweet haircut you're looking at right now.
Fresh.
Yeah. She went a little too high up on the sideburns, but
Well, you have no sideburns.
Yeah, I know.
That always
That's-
kind of.
I don't know.
I kind of get suspicious about people that have no sideburns.
wait, would you rather have the rapey Mike face over there or Mr. No Sideburns?
I don't know. If you guys combined forces, it'd be very weird.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you like
Like
Did
Hitler
like
and
a-
Mussolini.
if you did like a Dragon Ball Z fusion or something.
That'd be dope.
Could be
Yeah,
very
I'm not-
dope.
Who's going
I
to
don't
the
want to
bathroom?
touch Mike that long.
So I'm assuming
Yeah,
your
touch
week,
my
besides the
fingers.
haircut, was all right?
It was all right, but the thing is, when I went to book the haircut, the fucking big chain barber shop doesn't know the fucking meaning of the word confirmed, because I asked for a slot and they confirmed me, quote unquote, and then the day of today when I was getting the haircut, it's sorry, didn't go through. So I was just well, you don't know what confirmed means then, you dumb corporate fucking chain. It's like that fucking Seinfeld bit where he's just you didn't hold the reservation for my car. So I'm just irritated over words again.
Fair enough. I mean, I'd be irritated too if some
So I had to
idiot
go- I-
slob
I
didn't
went-
know how to keep a time slot.
Fuck Super.
Yeah, I had to go to a different. Location to maintain the slot I needed.
Did you go to
whatever?
Did you go OK cuts? Downgrade from super? All
No,
right, cut.
it felt like it. It honestly felt
Okay.
like it with this horseshittery. but-
I think you
yeah.
should probably call corporate and say they stole your sideburns. I'm just saying. The cut looks good besides that, but I just can't trust this guy on the machine.
I would like
I would
Pricing
trust
wise,
report sideburn theft.
pricing wise, you can't beat shit scissors. They are just the best. Travis, how was your week?
My week was pretty damn good. I think I'm going to replace the food experience because I
Do it.
First time ever I was really lazy. Also, I don't have a car, so not making excuses. But I did the Amazon, like, get your groceries thing.
Oh, you're
How's that?
handicapped.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fine.
I'm a handicap. But, I mean, I kind of wonder if the people were, like, just laughing at, like, the groceries I got when they packaged it all up. Because it was just, like, a big-ass thing of Cheetos. I got some salads in there, though. I got some salads.
All right,
wouldn't
salads and
laugh at you.
Cheetos. Great.
Salads.
That sounds great.
Yeah, no,
That's
this
great.
This is fine so far.
It's healthy.
Gatorade, just a
Electrolytes.
a man's life.
Right. Okay, so that's it. You just got Cheetos, salad, and Gatorade.
Yeah,
Which-
that's all you need.
I've been cleaning a lot. I'm very dusty. I'm like Pigpen.
right. Yeah, you're pretty gross right now. I actually see the knuckles are. You're not fooling anyone with that shower.
Well, you know what? Actually, I've been maybe I shouldn't disclose this, but I've been using face products recently. Moisturizer.
Hey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit of moisturizer. Got some eye cream going on.
Look
You
great.
are glowing.
sexy.
Besides,
Yeah,
besides that, like Rudy Giuliani face run that you have going on the side, you look really good.
All sweaty boy.
That's maple syrup. Leave it alone.
Tom, how about you?
You know, I don't know. I got nothing this week.
Oh,
I was
come on.
so busy. I was just so busy.
Somehow, like, still cooler than my story.
Well, I always talk about how busy I am, and then one week I was just like, oh, no one wants to hear how busy I am, and then I remember everyone is doing nothing, so it makes me feel better about being busy. Okay,
At least you're doing something.
yeah,
You can't buy time, though.
yeah. I'm going on my ghost Twitter account, talking to QAnon friends that I've made, just making sure that that's still going on in this country. I know it's starting to fade
Good.
away on the surface, but there's a lot of people hunting these vampire pedophiles, and I'm in full support.
Yeah.
So good for them. Anyway, it's time to do a show. Enough of that.
Oh, thank fucking God.
Speaking of vampire pedophiles, Travis, who is on the chopping block?
Well, tonight we are roasting another founding daddy.
Oh,
Another
Yeah,
founding daddy with spit roasting right now. I'm talking
Oh.
about professional windbag and third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson.
Hey, TJ.
You know TJ, right? Now
I don't actually.
Well, that's funny because we're gonna get into why no one knows about this man. Everyone thinks they know about Thomas
I know him.
Jefferson.
It's on the $2 bill.
nice.
You're right.
See that? I know my money.
Wow.
Bam.
You've earned your paycheck for the week.
Yeet.
So the thing about Tommy J is that he loved to call himself a founding father, but was he really? TJ was more of like the merch guy that goes and tours with the band, then gets really high after the show and starts grooming a 16-year-old fan. He's like, like I kind of came up with like the inspiration for their first album.
Wow. Well, that's an important guy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
You can't take it away from him if he actually did that.
That's the male. That's the male balding pattern ponytail groupie, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, none of the members of U2 ever even acknowledged Arnold the way they should. So-
Arnold, I mean, come on, Joshua Tree.
Oh, that's a song about a tree.
Yeah, but Arnold went to the Lemon Tree Barber Shop
Right.
and he was like, he bumped into a
Can
tree.
I-
He's like, hey, guys.
Can I make an embarrassing confession?
What's that?
Heard.
Their album is still on my iPhone.
Wait, the Uno Dos Tres Catorce?
Oh, the free
No,
one?
the one they just hacked onto everyone's fucking phones. I have
an
not been
old
able to
phone.
get rid of it.
Didn't
Wow.
you like jailbreak your phone?
And it persisted. It knew I was going in. And it jujitsu kung fu'd me to like stay there after like this has been like I've had like 2 different phones since. It like seeded itself into like my iTunes somehow and won't die.
It's all right.
Right.
We all know you love you too.
Well, I
Yeah,
believe
good
they did a little backpedaling there, and they were like, all right, we'll take it off your phone. Sorry about that, But the Pacific Islanders, they really need this message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need culture.
Yeah. So that's why you're there.
So the way I kind of look about Thomas Jefferson is that, back in the day, right, they didn't have like Reddit or the internet. So Thomas Jefferson is kind of like the founding fathers version of Reddit. So like there's some good conversations on Reddit, some good information, but 98% of it is just fucking garbage and Snapple facts.
Right. Terrible.
Right.
Terrible
Oh,
platform.
that's a good description, Travis.
Yeah.
Good shit. I like
So
that.
he's a guy with
That's
information?
Nail on the head.
He's a guy with a lot of shit coming out of his mouth that usually comes out of asses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that Reddit had titties on it until recently, and
so many.
Cody knows about that. I was just saying.
I do. Fuck you.
Okay, all right.
Now, for some people listening, you might be like, "Oh, Thomas Jefferson. Oh, he's one of my favorite presidents," and that's cool. He's actually at the bottom of my list, and this is why.
Oh, okay. So this is a presentation. We're going into presentation mode.
Yeah, I like
I got
this.
my clicker
yeah.
out.
Nice.
No, you have a trifold poster up.
Yeah, with the volcano for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just wanted to build one.
Baking
So-
soda volcano.
All right, so we're gonna kind of blast through Thomas Jefferson's youth because
Yeah.
So the main source that I read was a book called The American Sphinx by Joseph J. Ellis.
Okay.
And this is kind of because TJ was a bit of a mysterious, shady character when it came with the revolution and his past. He was very introverted. He was like a,
He's like Mike.
like a Redditor.
He's
Right.
like, he's very emo.
Yeah,
Mo. All right.
I'd say that.
He's mowing.
Super introverted, super private, terrible at public speaking. And there's a lack of documentation because a lot of the juicy deets were conveniently burnt in a fire called the Shadwell Fire.
Lack of documentation is like the first juicy yellow flag on any roast mortem subject.
Yeah. So we don't really know too much about him until his late 20s, early 30s. We know some things, and I'll get into that quickly. We're just going to blast over that.
Right.
So we do know that
Blasting.
we do know that he was born on the Shadwell plantation in the Virginia colony on April 13th, 1743
It's coming up.
to Peter Jefferson. I almost said Peter Jackson. To Peter Jackson and Jane
thing.
Randolph Jefferson. Both of which, I don't know, this is a big thing. They're slave owners. They own lots of slaves.
Right. Which is not a surprise. You know,
Wow.
we've done enough of these history episodes where we don't gasp over this. We don't need to. Oh.
Right. So we might gasp a little later. I'm going to go into Jefferson, a very weird thing about slavery, which we'll get into. But when TJ was 9, his daddy died. But he didn't really mind
daddy.
because that means loads of money.
Or just like what you're thinking about when you're 9.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
how am I going to move out of here? I
The guy that spanked me was replaced by this mountain of cash.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, now I can buy Pokemon
Yeah.
cards.
My neighbor Ted moved out when he was 7, and I'm stuck here at 9, barely out of the house. I've never done anything. I haven't got a spring break yet.
Yeah.
So that was all right for him. And eventually he would inherit 500 or 5,000 acres, which included his legendary cum dungeon, Monticello.
Sheesh.
Nice.
Nice.
Sounds
Which
like
I-
a cheese.
Yeah, so it actually means little mountain in Italian. I don't know why he named it in Italian, just he wanted to be fancy.
Hey.
Italian's very fancy. It's romantic, especially if you're trying to fuck backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, upside down backwards. Spider-Man fucking.
Romance.
Italian
Romance.
chandelier.
Yeah.
And that also included a bunch of slaves, of course, and he acquired all this when he turned 21. There's a little trust going on, right?
Right.
So we don't know the details about this either, but it seems like he had some falling out with his mother, Jane.
Mama.
But he lived with his mother well into his 20s, which was something that was very rare at the time. I mean, you're kicked out of the house at like 13
Right.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially if you had money. Like
Right.
you should be in school right now. I have neighbors to have sex with. You can't be around here.
Yeah.
This is the future again. We're getting back to it at some point. You know, just send them away to public school forever.
Yes, please.
Time is a flat circle.
Well, yeah, Jefferson actually did go to the prestigious Virginia college called William and Mary, which I think still exists.
Yeah.
And he excelled because he was such a bookworm and smarty boy. He's like, oh, I'm going to become a lawyer. And he does that. And then he enters the Virginia House of Burgess, which is like just their Senate or whatever.
Mhm.
Local gov.
Gotcha.
And he was the delegate for Albemarle County from 1769 to 1775.
Good year to start.
Great years.
Yeah.
Some of the finest years if you're looking to suck years.
Yes.
Yeah. If we want to go back in time, that's the end of my statement.
69 is a good year.
Yeah.
So,
Just 69 AD.
Yes.
yeah, NE 69.
I need 69.
Yeah, I concur. So during his time in the Virginia government, he bumps into his third cousin at a family picnic, and he's like, "Want to smash?"
Howdy.
Yeah.
But back then, they know they're third cousins.
Yeah, they're actually more obsessed with like family lineage back then.
Oh, that makes sense.
They didn't know this. This is pre-Darwin. So they're like, yo, you want to make a perfect white traffic cone-shaped child? We should
Maybe.
have doing it.
And we're related.
Weird
so it's
stuff.
like, keep it in the family. I don't want to meet a stranger.
Yeah. We already know each other. Small
Yeah.
talk's over.
Mike
We've
knows.
been doing
Mike
that.
knows.
Yeah.
You guys gonna get gay married?
We're gonna
Yeah,
get
we already
married.
married.
Yeah,
Been
actually,
married for
I
a
gotta
while.
break the news to Gabby.
We're-
We live in a very progressive state.
We do.
Yeah, weed's legal now. It's crazy.
Whoa.
Don't smoke that shit,
Fuck.
though.
So one thing about TJ is he always knew how to get it on with those women in crisis. So said third cousin, her name was Mary Skelton. She was a widow at 23. And now it wasn't one of those creepy marriages where like, she was like 14 and married like a 60-year-old. Her first husband was young, like roughly her age, and they actually had a kid.
Oh.
But her
Oh my
husband,
God.
her husband died, and then 3 years later, the kid dies.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh.
So
That's like having a full ass life before you're not even 20. You know what I mean? Like just chock full of tragedy and shit. And you barely made it out of your quinceanera.
yeah, but what better time to fucking pick up a lady? So little bookish TJ comes and he's like, "Oh, yo, you sad? Can I lick your tears?"
Question: was she anorexic? Is that where the last name comes from? You
yeah,
say her name was Mary Skeleton,
Jack Skeleton's brother.
right? It's
Good.
very sick. If you're dealing with that, reach out to someone. No jokes there.
It's true.
Yeah, so TJ comes up to her while she's crying in her potato salad at this family picnic. He's like, "Yo, you
Right,
want to
right.
do it?" And so TJ and Mary got married, and they had 6 kids, but only
Whoa.
2 of them made it to adulthood because they were probably
man.
related or something.
Standard, you know.
Yeah.
Why is my kid all weird? Man, that was probably rude, right?
Not
Something
enough
like that.
eyelids, too many kneecaps.
So along with that hot, wet widow pussy, TJ,
Thank you.
Why was that horrible?
It was
That just
really
hit
bad.
me.
Yeah.
It's like a dirty novel.
I don't know
I'm
what that was
listening to.
about.
dude, I picked that book up in the airport library.
Look like Fabio. on
The
cover of
airport
it.
library. When you check it out and then fly across the country.
and then check them back out. So along with that hot, wet widow pussy, TJ also with this marriage acquired another 130 slaves from Mary's dowry.
Jesus.
Amongst them were the mixed race family called the Hemmings family.
Okay.
And we will get into them a bit later because this is a Travis script. Save it
Mixed
for later.
race.
Nice. Yeah, Travis doing that recall stuff that we were talking about on episode 1.
All right, so let's talk about the big old D of independence, right? Let's get into that.
Right.
You know about that one?
Yeah.
America
E.
flopped their dick out.
July 4th, Los Dios de Independenzo. It's very important.
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hamburger day. Get your pools ready. Okay? Pool better be ready. It better be ready a month before.
That's true.
So why are you waiting? Get
There's
the
a
pool
map
ready.
on the back of that thing too.
Yeah, this was basically England was like, you can't buy fireworks. And America was like, fuck you, we can't go into Pennsylvania.
I like
Perfect
this.
analogy for the whole situation.
So this was their Facebook post about how we should American lives matter or something. So Jefferson was not a fan of the crown, and he also was not a fan of the whole no taxation without representation thing that was going on with like the Stamp Act and all that. But much like our boy Washington, he would scream, boycott the British, while importing fineries from London to decorate Monticello.
Right.
You know,
Well, it's just the same thing that happens today.
Yeah.
This is very human to go out there and go, let's make a revolution happen. Like this is happening now. It happens with movements like really good movements that should exist, like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. But the people behind them are still buying Nikes from slave labor camps. No problem.
yeah, I think even more pertinent is like now that Amazon's all under fire. Like everyone's like, fuck Amazon, but no one's canceling their Prime account.
Not a single person.
You just
I
got a
won't be.
bag of
I'll actually.
Cheetos.
I'm buying 2 of them
yeah.
because I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Mhm.
Silence. That's where I am, unless it's on the show. Apparently.
I don't say nothing anymore.
But I feel like this
I
was
don't
also
say shit.
yeah, this was also like a trend with like because Washington was from Virginia, Jefferson's from Virginia. This is like a big trend. They kind of Virginian farmers, slave owners, kind of fashioned themselves like European royalty.
Right.
We gotta get the fineries.
Well, they're rich, right? They're loaded.
Yeah.
They're fucking. That's like the high fashion of the time.
Well, they're rich, but they're also like ass deep in debt.
Retardation. Oh,
Yeah.
Rich is a
They're
mindset.
buying the
Mike.
Supreme
You-
shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike. Rich is a mindset. The problem is you don't have enough debt. It's not that you don't have enough money. You don't have enough debt.
I gotta start gambling. Well,
Yeah.
I have been gambling.
No.
recently.
Secure your dets. Go to a
Well, I've been investing. I've been losing money.
go
as I
to BMW, rent a car you can't afford. Get that, okay? That's for
Yeah.
starters.
Yeah.
I gotta impress everyone. That's what I
Right.
gotta do.
That's what I'm talking about. Then when you pull up to buy a piece of property, they're not going to look into your bank accounts and your income because you just pulled up in a
BMW.
fucking BMW.
fucking
yeah.
cock out.
You're going to go,
What's
of
up,
course he can.
fuckers?
Of course
Yeah.
he can
You
do
can
that.
afford this?
We're gonna-
03 BMW.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. That's how it is. So you just acquire debt to become rich.
Yeah, Mike, you're too upset about like trying to get 30 grand. You need to spend 30 grand
Before
off
you have
credit.
it.
You guys want 30 grand?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's
there
the
we go.
question.
Good. He's
All right,
learning.
guys. We're going to fucking Outback later.
Wow. And then the Olive Garden for drinks.
Oh, yeah. All going for drinks and breadsticks.
I love this show.
Yeah, fucking chicken palms for everyone.
Herbert.
Oh. So just like a true, so this is what's going on with Jefferson. He's racking up debt, but he's calling for like the boycott, but he's still buying shit. And like a true keyboard warrior of the 18th century, he picks up his
Ooh.
quill and starts furiously scribbling down a post about how to cancel England.
Yeah, okay.
He writes this this condemnation of King George III in a document called, and he's not very good at titling things. They're all terrible. A summary review of the rights of British America. You could condense that, I feel like.
It's like a project I did in high school.
You could. The summary review of what is it again?
The summary view of the rights of British America.
Yeah, just call it.
Injustices caused by the European Empire.
That's too long. That's just as wordy. That doesn't. And they're
Yeah,
not,
you
the
fucking
European
Snyder
Empire,
cut
what
that.
is- the euro is still years away, decades.
You be like, King
These guys are
George
the
is
past.
mean.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Hashtag England is a bunch of ninnies.
England.
So, all right, TJ writes this thing about how much George III sucks, and this earns him a lot of likes from the proud anti-fascist revolutionaries. But he still was pretty much like a nobody. On top of that, his reasoning for calling for independence was a bit strange, to say the least.
Okay.
So, in summary view, he kind of gives this, like, again, Reddit or like QAnon revisionist history conspiracy that TJ believes in here. We're talking about conspiracies, brother.
Oh,
Going back centuries.
Oh,
Yes!
Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So TJ believed that the colonies were destined to become independent, and his reasonings were based not on the Tax Act, like the recent Tax Act or anything that was riling up all the other colonists. TJ believed that the ruling class of the English monarchy started way back in 1066 when the Norman invader William the Conqueror came into England and took over the peaceful, happy Anglo-Saxons. He believed that those Normans were directly responsible for the oppression of Anglo-Saxons. So,
Fucking Normans.
yeah, the French, the Normans.
Right. If you didn't know, Uncle Norman,
Normans,
French guy.
Oh.
So TJ thought that before the Normans invaded the British Isles, it was this utopia where people worked free on the land and they could do whatever the fuck they want. They could mash, they could make potatoes for the family even though they didn't have potatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was
Great.
better. Now it's not.
Yeah. But it all goes back to this like, the Normans are out there. Every bad person, they're fucking French Normans.
Oh wow. Wait, I don't understand. Maybe I lost my way here in navigating this absolute truth that you're speaking, but he's talking shit about the Normans,
Yeah.
but they're fighting against the English.
Right, but the English back in 1066 with William the Conqueror, he was a Norman that took over the crown.
Oh.
So he's like, it's all about the Normans, brother. We were destined to be free.
Okay.
Free in America, free in England,
I never knew that.
Anglo-Saxons.
So it's not even England's fault for oppressing us.
Yeah,
It's like they
It's-
didn't learn enough.
yeah,
Right. They're obviously a different race, so they can't do any wrong.
yeah.
Okay, I like it.
See, we're entering like ancient alien
They
shit.
didn't tell
This
me
right.
this in school when I was learning about this shit. This is fucking crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
they didn't tell you anything in school.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
They just like, they're like, all right, let's push this kid through.
is- Get him through. No
Get him
child
through.
left behind.
You got to study all every period.
Hey, want your third recess?
Yeah. That's it.
Here, just fill out the sheet. The answer's C all the way down.
This guy's really good at shop. He likes to lick the balsa wood.
I was so good at shop. I used to just like, I don't even know. I don't even remember
See?
what I used to do.
It doesn't remember, but he
I
knows
used
he's
to
good
just
at it.
sit out. I used to
There
stare
are
out the
very
window.
dangerous mechanical things, and you can't remember.
Ooh, AutoCAD. Let's just take that class.
Very cool. Yeah, you're going to be a.
Yeah.
I used to play Grand Theft Auto instead.
All right, learning.
So
Wow.
very much like this Anglo-Saxon utopia that TJ envisioned before the Normans was very much like the Native Americans, which Thomas Jefferson claimed to admire the lifestyle and societies. He even went so far to call them a superior race over the Negroes.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Really grasping
Very
at
progressive.
straws. Yeah. Hitler did that,
Yeah.
right? With Indian people. He was cool with that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what he said until he actually became president, but we're not there yet. So we've talked about the whole continental. We talked about the whole Continental Congress from 1774 in the Washington episode, and this was basically where a bunch of delegates from all the colonies came together, drafted up the Declaration of Independence, and formed like a provisional government while they were fighting the British.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
it together.
Right. Now, Thomas Jefferson was not actually selected to go to Philly for the original Congress. I mean, why would he? This was just some random dude that never couldn't talk in public. He was talking about how the Normans fucked us. Like, they don't want him here.
But let me guess. Does he just kind of show up?
Well, he got in thanks to his godfather, Peyton Randolph. Peyton Randolph went to the original Congress, and then he kind of dropped out. He's like, I don't know, I got to deal with my slaves or something. Jefferson, you want to go Philly? Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's. Hey, this is gonna blow up in our face anyway. You want to take my space? I have to cut my toenails.
Yeah.
I need to micromanage.
Yeah,
So-
right.
I'm a sex dungeon.
So the Congress really didn't know how to use Jefferson because he never gave a speech for the entirety of the Congress. He just kind of sat in the back of the room,
Right.
scribbling and shit.
Just right under this fucking thing.
He's drawing dick butts.
Yeah. he's
Yeah.
Doing important shit.
Then Massachusetts native John Adams was like, "Yo, nerd, I read your summary review paper thing. You're kind of good with words. You want to cut out all that shit about Romans and Norman Saxon shit and write out some stuff?"
Let's focus here.
Yeah.
Okay? You've obviously got a pen. None of us do have pens. You're the only one with a pen. Make us look good.
Yeah,
Right?
Please.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, John Adams was very pragmatic. He's like, this nerdy boy could help us out a little bit.
Why not?
Yeah.
So then TJ writes a completely useless document called The Declaration of the Cause and Necessity for Taking Up Arms.
Too wordy again.
Yeah, again, too
Yeah.
wordy.
I like.
It's a run-on sentence. I don't like that.
It should be a doc about doing it.
Yeah.
That's what should be called.
Why we should shoot at him.
Yeah.
Like you get 4 words and one of them can be cool. You know what I mean? So you have to do something like, Operation Herald of Dawn.
Hey, Cody, what's the dumbest word you know? You know word. You're basically an SAT.
Ophthalmoscopic.
See?
What was that?
Ophthalmoscopic.
What does that mean?
What the hell does that mean?
It's the little funnel light the doctor shines in your fucking eyeballs to make sure it's
Jesus.
okay.
That has a
But
word?
the thing is, it's OPTH. What kind of ophthalmoscopic? A perfectly acceptable fucking synonym A fundoscope. Just call it a fucking fundoscope.
Call a flashlight.
Like a little flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Okay,
I'm glad I
fine,
asked
sure.
Cody. Cody, this is. I feel like this is. We're getting a little Thomas Jefferson in you with your words. I like it
Yeah.
because you know more words than anyone else I know.
We
But
gotta simplify the
There's-
world.
It's not great. It's not good. It's not a good superpower. It's really underwhelming.
Oh, I understand its trivial nature, but I'm saying it's pretty cool in some, bar trivia.
Can you spell it backwards?
Closed all the bars though.
Better than drink share.
So the reason why I call this document useless is because when he's writing the document about why we need to like basically take up arms and fight the British, there were already Lexington and Concord already happened, Bunker Hill had already happened, and like New England was a shitstorm for like months now. So it's like, why should we take up arms? It's like we already fucking did do that.
Right.
Now, Jefferson actually believed the war would be won in a year and cost about $1 million. Turns out it was closer to a decade and like tens of millions of dollars.
Every war, they always end up like
one
that.
year. Come
Yeah.
on.
A year, $1 million.
There's no
bucks.
coupons.
Yeah. Only a couple people are gonna die.
No, this document is pretty much summary view with minus all the conspiracy shit I was talking about, the Normans.
Were they doing that dumb shit back then? They were like standing in line.
What?
They were
What?
standing in line with
Rationing
guns
and
and
stuff?
shit.
What? What do you mean
Fighting?
Yeah, when they fight, they do that
Oh,
bullshit.
oh,
they like
combat.
gentlemen's combat. They're like, all right, I'm gonna stand.
Oh,
and die.
yeah, you mean like a musket line or
Yeah.
whatever the hell they
This is
were
before
called.
the guerrilla shit happened.
Well, I mean, the reason why they fought like that was because the muskets were so inaccurate.
the gentleman's way of saying,
It's not
Let's
gentlemen. It's just like if you were fighting, the only rifles were just coming out. So like if you're gonna kill people, like you just had to have a lot of lead going down.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much an entire line of those guys was rendered obsolete with buckshot.
damn.
Or rifling.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
hate to be like the first in line.
Yeah, no, that's that's your speed bump. That could best describe your future.
Standing in line to see the show tonight. And then the light
Yeah, yeah.
on. Singing all the time.
Mike, for Halloween, you need to be a fucking British redcoat.
Singing
British
that song.
Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
British Kitas.
Just that.
England.
You got me. Yeah.
Yeah,
stuffing your
England.
base musket.
red hot
Bail, bail.
chili coats.
Yeah.
Red hot curry peppers.
Oh God.
There you go.
So I think the whole point of writing this document was basically Adams like being like, "Will this guy fucking start writing nonsense?" Because on top of that, by this point, Jefferson had also picked up this whole idea that the Pilgrims also were a reason why America should have broken up from Britain. But in reality, I mean, America was settled by like Jamestown, and the Pilgrims were not about freedom. The
No.
Pilgrims were about oppression.
They were the Taliban, which is funny because then you think about Thanksgiving and all the kids with the buckle hats, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Those people wanted to murder everyone.
Yeah.
They would have, if we had the buildings, they would have 9/11.
Oh yeah, replace the buckle on next time on Thanksgiving. Replace the buckle hat with a bomber vest.
Yeah, exactly. They were that close
Oh,
to that
no.
shit. Do you remember?
Really?
Remember all those ladies they burned? Well, they didn't.
Oh,
they wouldn't
yeah.
actually burn people at the Salem witch trials, but those were all Puritans. They were like, "Hey, I suspect that my wife has been thinking things, and therefore Satan, and I'm gonna fucking burn her."
We
Or
gotta
hang
get
her.
one of them
Show
on
was
the
crazy
show.
back then.
What, a woman?
Yeah, one with titties.
Yeah, why not?
I remember dream one of them.
Patitties.
titties, titties,
Titties.
pilgrim titties.
Pilgrim titties.
Extremely. Look, yeah.
Wow.
Either way, let's continue here because we're getting too much. We're getting so horny for
Show was
oppression.
crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine that
Yeah,
shit.
it's
Like, yeah,
weird.
there's a witch in that lady's head.
Yeah, dude, we gotta do what you gotta hang her. Which is apparently that's the thing. The
Ah.
burning at the stake, that was a thing, but hanging. Continue, Travis.
So
Boring
anyway,
back then.
TJ was like, "These guys believed in freedom, brother."
Freedom.
Not so
America.
much. But anyway,
Was it always called America?
America
No.
Vespucci, the map maker. I forgot who named it.
Very good,
after
sir.
him.
yeah.
Did they
forgetting-
call it that back then?
Well-
Then they call it America.
Well, you know how you
Yeah,
know the reason
America.
why it's the District of Columbia. For a while, they called America Columbia.
Ah,
It's confusing because there is a Columbia.
yeah.
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 Well, I mean, Columbia came a
And
little later. That was Pizarro times, I think.
Yeah.
They made that up. But look, we're getting into too much history. Let's get to the story.
Yeah, so I think Adams was just kind of testing him to be like, all right, we're going to write this Declaration of Independence, make sure he doesn't go too off the rails. But
Read
so,
the teleprompter.
yeah, so Adams is like, yo, all right, you did good. Can you write our Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
She's like, hell yeah, I could do that.
I shit it and I farted.
Or he's probably like, yes, I could do that.
Yes,
Sure.
I get it. Are we going to make that Thomas Jefferson's voice?
Yeah.
now?
Yes, I could do that.
I can write in cursive. Oh,
I brought my favorite
Wow.
quilt.
oh, my ink is all drippy today. Fuck.
Fuck.
All right, so now he had to write a document again about why the colonies should break off from Britain. So he just went back to the previous two documents that he had written and just like changed a few words here and there. Basically, just copy pasted his two other, like word for word, his two other documents.
Right.
Which is that plagiarism when you're
No.
using it yourself? No, but it's very fucking lazy when you're trying to start a country.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Call that crunching some time. You're making time, or I don't know. It's fucking.
Well, I mean, does it matter?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess it worked. It's still here today.
No, but I think when you learn
We're
it,
here.
right? When you learn it, you imagine this guy like thinking really hard, and like this like master of words, like sweating over like writing the Declaration of Independence for like a month. This dude blasted it out in like a day and a half.
Which
Like,
does
here you go.
kind of
See,
make sense.
Do you remember Eminem in the 8th Mile?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he's like writing, I like to imagine that's like our founding fathers, like like putting down like some like sick bars on like the old timey legislation.
Right.
No plagiarism.
They probably hit the same amount of women and shit.
Well,
Probably.
if you think about it, like this is a guy who just did a hawk job to put together a country, and it explains. Excuse me. It explains a lot of the Dodge Rams that are lifted, and all the no stepping on snake, please, and keep my guns away from Biden. All these things, these sentiments, like the people who carry this flag today and reference our forefathers. They're some of the stupidest people out there I've ever fucking met.
Yeah.
I love it
Yeah.
on the back window. I love the whole fucking the whole shebang on the back window.
Oh, the
Yeah, and, like,
decals.
but you can't like read it because it's so tiny. But you just know it's like
Yeah, when they
fuck,
put the
damn.
whole declaration, you just
Yeah.
see "We the People."
Next
yeah.
to, and then Calvin's doing pissing, but he's actually pissing on the Declaration.
Yeah.
So-
Now I'll admit there's some good points on there,
Yeah,
but to
yeah.
wear it on your sleeve like that is pretty fucking dumb. It's like designing your entire life around the Christmas story.
Well, right,
like
and-
it's a fun movie, but like, does every reference in your life have to be about the fucking radiator and the Bumpus's dogs?
Fragile.
Well,
Yeah.
right, but this also kind of goes back to my whole like TJ was Reddit because like his first post didn't work, so he like changes some things. He makes another post, and his third post he's like basically the same two posts, just like this one got like caught on, got
Right.
the,
Just
got the
haters.
karma.
Got karma, so
You
he
know?
gets karma. He's a karma
Oh.
whore. That's fine.
So the reason why people asked it out in 2 days was basically he was like thinking about Virginia and what was going on there and renovations to his beloved Monticello, which
Well, people can't write back then
No.
either, right? He was like a gem, right? Because people really couldn't write.
I mean, they did though. Educated
Yeah,
people.
nice hand-
that's
nice
that's like
handwriting.
the biggest part of being educated is reading.
It's like
and
a
writing.
superpower.
yeah,
over the
I mean,
peasants.
I think I read when we did Sam Adams that like 80% of like Boston and Massachusetts were literate.
Really? Oh, huh.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's still pretty low. I mean, like, have you
I can
ever-
write cursive, and it takes me nowhere.
Look at the people that can read and write today. When's the last time you think that they dropped their Netflix for like a few minutes and read a book? It doesn't happen. If you can, it doesn't mean that you are superior in any way.
I saw
So
the
this is
attention
being
span
proven
read.
right now.
Right,
So-
Mike? That's hard. Reading is tricky as shit, right, Mike?
It's easy. It's really I can read really fast. I just think it's boring sometimes.
Yeah. Thanks for your honesty.
I can
man.
literally read a page in like probably like a couple seconds. Just
Wow.
like
Got
shoot,
Rain Man. here.
Super reading. Yeah, dude.
Wow.
reading.
I
I'm gonna
stand
give you some
corrected.
reading materials.
I can read really fast. I can read really good too.
Yeah, what, you're gonna do
Nice.
a script.
I can
next
write
week?
real
You have a-
nice. Real
You
nice
have a script
handwriting.
next week.
It's 10 pages long.
Hell yeah,
So 10 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
10 minutes.
9 font. Comic Sans. Double spaced. I went to community college. Fuck you guys. Fucking, I'm qualified. I
need to make
had an
jokes if
English
Mike makes
teacher
them all.
Pull me aside and show my fucking presentation or my paper in front of the whole class and was like, "This is how you write a paper." I shit
That's a
you
hand
not.
turkey, though. You made a hand turkey.
Turkey.
Amazing.
All right.
Community
so,
college.
So TJ was the main author of the Declaration of Independence, but Adams was not going to present it to Congress without making a few revisions and showing it off to a few people in this committee that was supposed to make this. So the thing was, like, he really didn't know, like, if he just submitted it, there could be shit about Normans and Pilgrims, and they didn't want that. So, like every other self-absorbed author that we've talked about, any revision made to the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson saw it as a defacement. He didn't want anything revised, even though there was very minimal revisions to it. Adams, he blamed Adams and said that he had completely destroyed the document, and he actually disavowed the Declaration of Independence that was approved by Congress.
He A.J. Smythe did?
Yeah. It's like, fuck
wow. Interesting.
Little did he know there's a map on the back of it. Fucking idiot.
So he writes the Declaration of Independence, whatever. During the war, Jefferson,
whatever.
He mainly focuses on his career for the Virginia state government, although he was the delegate, Virginian delegate for the Continental Confederation, which is like Articles of Confederation time.
Oh, Lord.
Technically, he was a colonel in the Virginia militia, but the only notable thing that he did was run away from Benedict Arnold when he came after Monticello.
Very strange episode. Real man, maybe.
Right? I don't know. I wasn't there for that episode.
I know, because you're a traitor. That's why I did
it. I mean, the real hero of the war, Benedict Arnold.
Well, I'm going to say the real winner of that war is those eggs Benedict that we've been getting out of the namesake.
Baby girl.
No.
Shut up. You like gushers too
Mayonnaise
much.
eggs.
Yeah,
No.
eggs Benedict is the gushers of eggs.
It's
Yeah.
the mayonnaise of eggs.
That's a grown-up gusher right there.
Wow, you just sold me not on that. You just did like an uncommercial for fucking eggs Benedict.
Could you imagine getting adult gushers and it's just 12 soft-boiled eggs? In a
Just
bag?
imagine going to like
infused
a
in
fucking brunch spot and like just asking like, hey, what's a eggs Benedict? And they're just like, oh, it's the gushers of eggs.
You guys aren't cultured enough.
All right, cool. I'll take it. I have too much culture.
You guys
so
never lived.
I've never even lived once.
Never died.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good one. I didn't think that's...
So TJ also became the governor of Virginia in 1779 and 1780.
I'm having crazy deja vu.
Yeah. In 1782, his wife Martha died.
Oh, fucking bitch.
Yeah. TJ
It's
was
her fault, yeah.
TJ was pretty fucking broken up over this, but as they say, there's more honey pots in the sewer.
Oh, I'm just go buy a prostitute because it's 17 fucking something.
He probably owns some already.
Yeah, I've owned 10
We know where this is going.
History predicted.
Oh, no.
So during this period, actually, Thomas Jefferson became the father of American archaeology. So as I mentioned, TJ was really into the cultures of native tribes. So he thought, what better way to understand them than to dig up their burial mounds? It's not like they were alive at the time and you could have just asked them about their culture. He went to their graveyards and was like, yo, dude, do you see these bones and shit in here?
You think he was grave robbing? Like he was like taking the shit?
Absolutely.
That's exactly what he was saying. Yeah. Also, it's like, well,
Mike-
as much as I find these people fascinating, they're also dirty liars. So I need to get to the bottom of this.
They owe me this
Mike,
stuff.
you're gonna tell me you're gonna come across like a pile of skeletons and not take anything?
If there's cool shit, I'll take some.
Yeah. I mean,
Gold ring? Hey, you're not using it.
oh no, pile of bones. An iPhone. Yeah. Very
Wow.
interesting.
It's really easy to restore an iPhone. Get it working.
Yeah, exactly. And that's layman's cool
Ooh,
stuff.
and you could use. Oh wait, they don't have skin anymore because bones.
No skin.
Just
you
phone.
can't use the fucking thumb, whatever it is, or no Face ID. You can't scan their face.
Well, you
Get
got to
in.
rebuild their. That's why they do that Discovery Channel shit where they rebuild Pocahontas and all their faces so they can unlock their.
Yeah, they
iPhones.
staple ham to the skull and then
life is
boom, the
Yeah.
phone opens.
Yeah. All right, Travis, continue. We have to. This is a long episode. We have to shut up.
Yeah, so
Keep going.
shut the fuck up. So in 1784, Congress asked Jefferson if he wanted to replace the aging Benjamin Franklin as the U.S. ambassador in France.
Okay.
We talked about Benny Frank,
Yeah.
his fucking limp old dick in France.
Mhm.
So now he's like Jefferson.
Jefferlin?
Jefferson. Now you might think, wait, Jefferson Franklin.
I like that honestly better than Jefferson.
Yeah. So you might think Jefferson's like dude, I've been talking about these Normans, the French, these reptilian conspiracies,
How dare you?
right? Like, you might think, well, he put two and two together and he's like, dude, I don't want to go to fucking France because, like, they're overlords.
There's no savages over there.
But, you know what is there? A whole bunch of
Tower.
French hordes to jostle his prostate.
Hey.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you just love that deep knuckling, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Gotta get right in there.
You gotta get 3 knuckles in there.
Listen,
Oh,
if
sorry.
you're not a knuckler, you're a knucklehead.
Exactly. You don't give girls noogies, you're doing it wrong.
Get
The
over
Australian noogie,
Yeah.
as performed by Mike onto his girlfriend.
Good eye.
Good night.
Good day, Shayla.
This is some of the grossest stuff we've ever talked about.
I know, yeah, Mike,
that's-
you're a
that's-
fucking dirty
That's
boy.
love right there.
He's right. He's not wrong.
No.
Love
If no
can
one's
be-
given you a noogie before, they don't love you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying love can be messy. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
I'm not-
Love
you're
is a
not wrong.
mess. No, if your love is perfect, then you're a fake human and you're a fucking third eye reptilian.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
So-
shit. I like
Shout
that,
out.
Mike.
So TJ's in France. Now, a lot of
Oh,
people, TJ's in France. A lot of people have speculated that he had became this like Francophile. Like I feel like a lot of people think, Jefferson like loves French. And also they connect that with the Louisiana Purchase that he did later. But in reality, TJ loved the food, architecture, and theater of France. But when he asked if he liked like France and the people, he was like, "Oh, they're a little bit better than the British, but like Americans are the superior race."
Of course, yes. This
Oh,
made-up race
poser
that just
Francophile.
happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously superior. It's like Pokemon.
Yeah. I also just love how like race is like the de facto like word you use for anyone in a different place.
Yeah. I mean, we like team. You can't
Team.
use the word team.
Yeah.
So you have to use the word race. It makes sense. Like, you know, my
Categorize.
team is better. That's it.
My
I
team's
prefer
kinda
this
shit.
team.
Yes. I'm a fan of the Jets. I don't care how often they lose. My dad said I should like them.
Yeah, so I was.
I'm a raging teamist.
So let's talk about the holes that
loser.
Jefferson may or may not have been sliding into.
Yes.
First off, John Adams and Jefferson, who were very different people with different political beliefs, the two actually were friends. And TJ was probably even bigger friends with his wife, Abigail Adams.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
he was doing the deed.
Well, we're not sure if they actually, got in there. I think that he was like completely introverted. He's like friend zoned because he was a complete introvert.
Right.
Like he would like hang out with her a lot and be like, "Oh, you're so nice. I love you."
He's a simp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
simp-
absolutely.
simping
This
her.
guy is a simp.
Oh, Thomas
Good job.
Simpleton.
Good job.
Yeah, there you go.
But there was another married woman that caught thirsty Jefferson's eye.
Ooh.
Interesting. Nothing to be said about that name.
Inside jokes. Inside jokes.
Maria Coswell. She was a 27-year-old at the time, very
Legal.
beautiful. And the likelihood of these two boning was a little bit greater than Abigail. But again, the surviving correspondence makes Jefferson look like a simp, as you called it, Mike.
Okay. All right.
So he's over there like drooling over her beauty, and she's like, "Ha, you're weird."
Oh, senpai noticed me. Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Eat my flesh, gusher.
Oh, please.
Now we know there was one woman for certain that TJ was boning while he was in France, but she didn't have a choice in the matter. This was 14-year-old
Oh, God.
Sally Hemings.
Wow.
Also, by the
Ew.
way, Jefferson was 44 at the time.
Gross.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's founding father. Yeah.
Built on rapists. Yeah.
It's just like, look, you're 14-year-old and you know fashion. You know what the kids are doing. What do you think of these truck knots?
Would you like to see my razor scooter den?
Wow.
It's like, I'm 14. I want to
So-
go home.
I don't know if you caught this, but I mentioned the Hemings earlier. This was a family of slaves that Jefferson owned. So Jefferson had brought Sally's brother to France to learn how to cook French cuisine. He's like, "Here, boy, you must learn how to cook like the French."
Right.
Tui.
Yeah. You got to become my ratatouille.
I
back
can't
in
just,
Monticello.
even though I'm a great author on paper, I can't actually just write the shit down.
Yeah. What do I look like?
You got to watch a French guy with weird fingernails flip the egg.
Game changer.
So Jefferson sent for his daughter Lucy to come join him in Gay Paris, and Sally Hemings accompanied her. Now, Sally actually was Jefferson's dead wife's half sister under another slave master relationship. So his wife Martha had her father had nailed a slave and made Sally Hemings.
Oh, okay. So what I'm getting at out of this is that it's all kind of off.
Yes, very off.
A lot of banging going on.
Well, this is the 18th century, dude.
Free love.
Yeah, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Free love, yeah. Nambler.
Free rape.
Yeah, especially
Free rape.
well, if the participant isn't free, then it's free love.
So Sally and Jefferson were constantly boning after his wife died. In fact, Sally had many of Jefferson's babies, and modern genetic testing has actually modern genetic testing has actually tracked down some of Jefferson's black descendants.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
That cool little photo that shows up on the Reddit.
Yeah, on the Reddit. It might not be true.
Right, it's probably not true at all.
Yeah.
He was sterile.
Asexual.
Now, the real fucked up thing about these children that Sally and Jefferson had is that Jefferson listed them as slaves in his logbook.
That's fucked.
Well, I mean, like she's 14. That's probably the
Yeah.
worst part.
Yeah.
Calling them slave children. Oh, it's old timey. It's very Puritan farmer like. I got a kid. I got someone to come move this plow in 3 months.
Right. So you've got your dad who actually owns you, which is weird. And when Jefferson eventually died, he freed 5 slaves out of his hundreds.
Oh.
Sally and his children were not any of those 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's worse than not freeing any of them.
Right?
That's just tough love.
Yeah. And of course, throughout the years, Sally had pled for at least the freedom of their children throughout
That's
her
fucked.
life.
And he was like, nah.
He was like, "No, they're my slaves." He actually opened up a nail factory because he sucked at farming. They made nails.
Made nails.
Yeah.
Throw nails.
That's why he's on the $2 bill. He's an idiot.
Yeah, no one
someone
uses that
uses
shit.
anymore. It's like, oh, I'm gonna collect it. I got my $2 bills.
I got one next to my computer monitor. My dad gave it to me. It's worth a lot of money. It's $2.
We're gonna be working on one day. We got big Bitcoins and shit.
I bought $2 Bitcoin.
So let's talk, because we're here at this point. You got to bring this up with Jefferson. Let's talk about his views on slavery, right?
No, he
Sure.
obviously
Yeah.
loves them.
I mean, like I said at the beginning of the episode, not a lot of shockers here, but we can.
Yeah, I think the real shocker is how he viewed slavery. So, again, this is a very Reddity apologetic standpoint, like where they bring up a whole bunch of things and they're
Right.
like, "Oh, but there's actually this side of the coin." And there's that
Right,
side
right.
of
Like
the
the
coin."
Ben Affleck shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we were also talking about Amazon. Like, you're going to shop at Amazon anyway, even though you hate Amazon.
Cancel Amazon and then continue to watch The Office on Amazon like
Right,
a
yeah.
mindless retard.
So
Right,
Jefferson was a slave owner, but he always said that he disagreed with slavery. During the period where he was writing all those condemnations of King George and Britain, he blamed them for slavery.
I'm forced to do this. I don't want to have
Well,
these
that's
slaves.
right.
They're
That's
telling me I
what-
have to do this.
That's
Oh,
it.
boy.
That's it. So Jefferson was writing the only reason why we have slaves is because King George set up the slave trade and now we're dependent on it, so it's his fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck
Bastard.
England.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And also slavery was illegal, I believe, in England, or it was
It's frowned
in
upon.
England itself, but he's like, dude, the transatlantic slave, how are we not going to have humans?
This is now not okay. The shocking part is how annoying he must have been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like talking about this and be like, what can we do about it? And he'd have, be talking to his Congress colleagues and he'd be like, what could we do about the slavery issue? And they're like, you could not.
Yeah.
No, I got
Well,
shit to do.
and I
I
mean,
don't know,
there's,
stop it.
yeah, I mean, there's the excuse that a lot of people use. Well, everyone had slaves at the time. That wasn't true because the North and Pennsylvania, Quakers, and in Massachusetts, they didn't have slaves.
The slaves didn't have slaves.
That's for sure.
Actually, it was a big topic when they were writing the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And actually, Jefferson was the man who wrote, We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Right. And I'm sure Lindsey Graham has this tattooed all over his body. But, you
Down to
know,
the scrotum.
words only go so far.
Yeah, and like
To the
100
scrotum.
years later, too, like slavery, it wasn't like even like.
It was 100 years later.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like, give or
Uh-huh.
take about 10 years from the point of that document being written.
She.
So Jefferson knew he was a hypocrite too. Like he was like, again, like I have to sell these slaves because it's the establishment, dude. Fuck the establishment. But the thing was, is he became the establishment.
Right. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That is what happens.
You live
Every
long
time.
enough, you become the villain.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason,
Nice.
we still don't have health care in this country that makes sense, but we have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer putting on Kunta Kinde outfits and praying for 8 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand any of this stuff. It's a linear progression of what this guy is. Like,
Yeah.
everything around you. If you like politics, you don't have any heroes. You have
Corruption.
that's too light of a term.
Oh.
You're a farce yourself if you think
You like
anyone's going to
Muppets.
help you right
Yeah.
now. It doesn't matter.
I kind of covered
I'm
this
about to take
part.
over the world while shaking your hands.
Oh, another big thing was like the Northerners were like, "Yo, the rest of the world is laughing at us," because a lot of like even in France, like during the Revolution and all that stuff, everyone's like, "We're looking at your documents. It says right here, all men are created equal, but you guys have slaves. Like this is dumb." Like,
That's
and,
America.
and Jefferson would be like, "I know it's bad, but like, what are we gonna do?"
Right.
It's a little.
It's like-
it's a rough draft. Come
Yeah.
on.
Could
You're
you
fucking
imagine
right.
anytime someone brings it up around him, he puts like, he does the fist to his lip, like,
Yeah.
what can we do about this? Always speaking in
Yeah.
the we. Like, what are we gonna do about this, guys?
The one finger.
It's like a bystander, like watching a house burn, but he's sitting on a fire hydrant. Like, think.
Right.
What to do?
Well, Thomas Jefferson, the guy who owns probably the most slaves, is over there figuring out how to fix slavery right now. So this is going well. Do you guys want to? Hey, let me show you how to make an egg. You're in France.
Right.
Oh, suck on
Yeah.
the blood.
So even though he was like whisking black vaginas with his penis, he
Oh no.
Whisking.
whisking, yeah,
Making
that's what he,
eggs.
I had to
Scramble,
whisk you up.
Continue. Get through this.
French cuisine, very light and
So
fluffy.
he did
Beautiful
not
picture.
believe that black, even though he was like, "Oh, black people need to be free," but I can't do it. He did not think black people were of the same intelligence as whites, and he concocted when he was president. He concocted this idea to send 1.6 million black people, most of whom were more American and had lived in America longer than he had, back to Africa.
Ooh.
It's like,
Wow, okay.
wrangle them up,
Fuck
put them
that.
back in Africa.
Wow. Yeah. That's
What if they say no?
To go back into the slave trade, to go somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Right. So yeah, they got.
Snatched up by and thrown into another slave trade.
No, it's fine. Belgium's around the corner, just
Yeah.
off by a few years. They'll cut off everyone's
What
hands.
could go wrong?
Yeah, come on.
Oops.
Yeah.
Hands.
So he believed that it was impossible for them to integrate into white society. And we'll talk about his displacement plans when we get up to his presidency,
Right.
because this is a long episode.
Hurry up.
I'm working on it. So while TJ was in France, the U.S. was drawing up the new Constitution. Remember, we fucked up the first time. They're like, we got to redo.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Mulligan.
add more guns to it.
Thomas Jefferson had nothing to do with that one. A lot of people are like, he's founding father, real Constitution, love TJ.
Did he sign it though? He signed that shit.
I don't think he signed it.
I thought his fucking John Hancock was on that shit.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he didn't sign it.
dude,
Mike.
you are killing it.
That was a
tonight.
good joke.
That was a really good
Yeah.
joke.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Okay.
Just the
So
highlights, I think.
he did get kept up to speed with his from his prodigy and butt boy James Madison.
Yeah, James.
TJ didn't like the Constitution that they were writing at all, because he was like, dude, this is gonna like subjugate the people. So he was like, James Madison, you have to like make sure that they write like Bill of Rights. You know that one? You gotta just like make it pass, work on it. So
Right.
a lot of
Get it
people
over.
credit TJ for writing the Bill of Rights, but it was actually James Madison that wrote it. And so when things started to heat up in France with the whole revolution, Jefferson was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the U.S., and George Washington asked TJ to become the first Secretary of State.
You know how to
Fancy.
write. You could be a secretary.
Yeah,
What do? They just like fucking write shit, right?
dude, he's
Write laws. and
Washington's
shit?
like, get on your knees. I'll show you what a secretary does.
They
Take
do.
notes?
They do the secretarian.
He keeps counts of everything that comes in.
Yeah, you just walk. You know, people walk in. They go, "Hi, how can I help you? I'm Thomas Jefferson. This is America."
You have an appointment?
Yeah.
It's the secretary, right?
You know it.
That's exactly it.
Oh shit.
Now, we touched on this with the Washington episode, but when TJ was part of Washington's cabinet, he absolutely hated the Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton. I don't know. There's a fucking stupid play about that shit.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's all real. He rapped.
Yeah.
He rapped.
He was the first rapper.
Yeah.
Well,
Spitting
I mean,
bars.
because he was white, he used to put on blackface every day
Right. He used to rap.
and rap.
Rap salads,
Uh-huh.
wraps, chicken.
His
Caesar.
favorite song was shout out to DMX. I believe he is not
Alive.
in the hospital anymore. He was as of today. Our listeners know we're a bit of delay. DMX overdosed, but he's
back.
Yeah.
he's back off the.
He did?
He overdosed.
Oh,
yeah, but
no.
he's all right now.
Wait,
Yeah,
overdose on there. What kind of
as of
drug?
this recording.
Oh,
Heroin?
no.
Not heroin?
I don't even know why. I just pray for him.
Damn.
The
Whoa.
way he
Gushers,
prayed
Mike.
for me.
It's probably,
Ah.
it's
Gushers.
probably dog meat.
Yeah, maybe.
Gushers.
You think
Yeah.
Gushers is a Rough Rider? I love DMX.
So,
Me too.
so this is one of the reasons why people really like Thomas Jefferson was because he was a big fan of small federal government. If you're a libertarian, this guy's like your icon because he
Keep it
doesn't
small.
want anything.
Right.
So Alexander Hamilton, who's also a piece of shit that we'll do eventually, he would have been happy if the U.S. turned into a monarchy. So we've got like two different sides of the spectrum here.
Right.
But in the real world, you know, this is a new government. Like it needed things to help us become a nation. You know, like you have to tax. We had an enormous amount of debt from this war, the modern equivalent of trillions of dollars.
Right.
Like we basically got this country off of a credit card. So like,
It's the American way.
Yeah.
Same.
Mike, that's what we're talking about before.
yeah.
That's true.
So like, there were some things like the bank that Jackson got rid of, but like we needed to set up some type of function to raise taxes.
Right.
So maybe Alexander went a little too extreme, and TJ maybe like a little, you know, they weren't into meeting in the middle.
They weren't on the
It's
same
a
chopper.
very American tradition. There's no you know, we talk about like no one meeting in the middle of the aisle. This shit was happening with the
Compromise
very first
elsewhere.
president.
You know, pride runs deep, people.
Yeah.
It really does.
Their vibes were off, I think.
So
Well said.
Jefferson makes a very stupid deal with Hamilton in 1790. Basically, Alexander Hamilton wanted to take all of the state's debts and consolidate it to the federal government.
Okay.
Just to like, you know, the more debt you have, the kind of more like weight you can throw around, sort of in like a.
Well,
We
it's
were
a
talking
sob
about
story.
that,
It's a
right.
sob story, and like it looks like you achieved something,
Right.
but it's not. You just signed the right paper.
So Jefferson obviously was all against this, because he was like, we don't need debt. I don't like government. But he agreed to this pretty big move from Hamilton simply by meeting in the middle, I guess, by making the new capital on the Potomac, which in a swamp, D.C.
Yeah,
so-
good
Oi.
stuff.
Great.
They say
Very even deal.
Drain
Yeah.
a swamp. That's literally what it is.
Location. That's it. Oh, we're debt. Location. That'll fix it. What the?
What
What
could go
is
wrong?
that? What are these? What are these people?
well, they were all inbred back then.
I don't know. You know,
We're
it's like
descendants of inbred people. That's crazy.
So,
Yeah.
so here's where the real shitbaggery begins. So, as Secretary of State, I mean, we talked a lot of shitbaggery, but political shitbaggery. The Secretary of State, Jefferson, and James Madison started the first political party. So,
Uh-oh.
the whole like two-party system, that's because of Jefferson. Pretty
Great.
much the reason why America can't get anything done in a timely fashion. He started a party called the Republican Democrats, sometimes just shortened to the Republicans. The other people were the Federalists, which
Right.
isn't a party anymore.
yeah, they lost the war.
Yeah. And their platform was basically based on states' rights and to strip the federal government of any type of power.
So Republicans and Democrats were together,
Yeah.
and they split apart as time
It's
went
all,
on.
it's all just name shit. None of these people stood for anything at all. That
Then it
we can
reversed
relate
later
to.
on, right? It like went from
Well,
it switched sides kind of as the years went
The
on.
whole like Democrats, like the Democrats were pro-slavery and whatever. That switched later.
Yeah.
It's all fucking topsy turvy, Mike. Like even current day, like when a Canadian or an Australian calls themselves a conservative, they don't mean like an American conservative.
different, yeah.
Like
It's all bullshit.
Well, yeah, the Conservative Party of Australia is the Liberals.
yeah.
Like all these names don't make any sense.
I've been brainwashed. I think
You sure have.
That's
Me
crazy.
too, man.
fucking public schooling, right,
I've been
Mike?
under the influence of television.
Yeah, under the influence of Rocco's Modern Life.
Yes.
So you might agree with Jefferson that states' rights are more important than federal things, but he pretty much set up a fucking terrible precedent with what's going on with like the two parties. And here's why. If I can fucking hit the thing.
Let me get you, Travis.
Got fat fingers, man.
Yeah, I got big ass
You
fingers.
got those dummy thick.
Dummy thick fingers, ladies.
Ladies
like two-
I got bitch fingers.
Yeah, no, I have like 10 thighs on my hands.
Yeah, he's
Wow,
a
that's
10-piece
obscene.
nugget.
So TJ hired this dude named James Callender, and this dude was basically like a hit piece writer. He would dig up scandal for Jefferson's enemies and then publish them in the papers.
Muckraker.
First TMZ.
No, yeah, exactly.
Wow,
no
good.
one was safe. He attacked Washington, his own president, like his boss. John Adams, who was VP. Even though they were friends, this actually broke up their friendship for a really long time because like he really went after John Adams. And of course, his nemesis, Alexander Hamilton. Most of the articles that Callender wrote for TJ were completely untrue, baseless tabloid shit, with the exception of the dirt that he dug up on Hamilton. But that is a story for another day.
Oh, okay. Stick around. Eventually, episode 400.
TJ was completely ruthless. I mean, this man, right here.
You want to read it?
Leave it in.
Okay, so the TJ was completely ruthless. I mean, this guy's supposed to be like a luminary for political philosophy, but he pretty much just started the first like shitpost tabloid.
It's great, dude. That's how you win. That's how you win.
Propaganda right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson eventually resigned from President Washington's cabinet, and he focused on gearing up his new party. And he did a run for president against John Adams. Let me get some burps out.
Okay.
That wasn't a burp.
That was something.
Jefferson lost this first election, but this is a weird time where the runner-up would become vice president.
I'll take that system over whatever the fuck we have now.
Yeah, so in 1796, TJ became vice president. Didn't really do much. VP didn't. I mean, still really doesn't do anything.
Just chill until the president dies, and you're like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
You just keep taking Twitter pictures of yourself walking over,
Yeah.
through White House architecture.
Wait, the vice president doesn't do anything?
Yeah. You know that?
No, I thought they were very important.
No, they just
Unless
hang
you're
out.
Dick Cheney.
I thought they were extremely important.
Well,
I
if
thought
the president
Okay.
dies, they become president. That's why they're there.
right.
Like a backup.
Wow,
It's like a
okay.
Self-storage thing.
Okay.
So,
Storage.
Storage.
Store
Like,
a
remember,
body.
like a
would you?
ram stick that I had to buy earlier.
Yeah.
Backup.
so John Adams' presidency usually gets a bad rap. He was only a one-term president, but
Oh.
it didn't help that his VP was running hit pieces against him constantly and
Yeah,
undermining every decision he made to the press. I mean, also Adams followed Washington, so that's kind of a tough act. Then there was the election of 1800. Jefferson campaigned again for president against John Adams, and he tried to make himself squeaky clean for the position. So he expunged himself of all these clandestine yellow journalism that he had been publishing. He even said this during the campaign that they say we lied them out of power and openly avow they will do the same to us.
Okay. Well, some say a hero will save us, but that doesn't actually stop 9/11. It keeps happening.
Yeah, I mean, how
Yeah,
is
school shootings still happen? This is crazy.
how's Spider-Man going to hang between the two
I
towers
don't
without
know.
him? Ghost towers.
I wish, like, you can, in the day of the internet, you would think that would be harder to expunge. You know, like you did something bad.
Yeah.
You don't think you'd be allowed to be president. Like we all had the Donald Trump thing. Now we have this Biden guy who plagiarized a speech in 1988, which got him kicked out of a presidential run, but we totally forgot about that.
Dude,
Yeah, a
don't
long
matter.
time ago.
You
Yeah,
know
a
what?
long time ago.
Is it though?
I don't remember that.
Is
long
it
ago.
though?
Yeah, people change.
No, all I'm saying is they're
They'll
all the
change.
same.
Yeah, all the
It's
same.
it's just fun. It's just fun.
I
They're
think what
wolves in cheap clothing.
What I think is so interesting is that like this shit was happening since the very beginning of our country.
I know, and I'm going to
You
stop
know?
comparing it to today.
Yeah.
Because it is evident that these people who want to run the country are psychopaths.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Always were.
Yeah.
No good people here.
I'd hate to do that. I'd hate to run the country.
Because
That'd-
you're not a psychopath.
Exactly.
Well, you give out Gushers Tuesdays.
Every free, Tube Steak Tuesday, you get a free pack of Gushers with every purchase.
Nothing to do with
Yeah.
no tube steaks, just
No.
gushers.
Gushers on your tube steak.
So shortly after winning the election, Jefferson fires his hit piece writer James Callender,
Get the fuck out of here.
and he pretends not to know him.
I don't know this guy.
Also, TJ had promised to make Callender the postmaster of Richmond, Virginia. So this was a problem for TJ here. Okay, so shortly after the election, Callender shows up to the presidential mansion, and he's hoping to get an interview with his buddy TJ, and he was not admitted. So he stood outside for hours, and eventually he sees Jefferson, the little weird simp boy, poke his head out through the curtains of the second floor. At this point, Callender screamed, "Sir, you know by lying I made you president, and I'll be damned if I do not unmake you by telling the truth."
Nice. That's why you don't get in
Interesting.
bed with these
But
people.
like
G-check.
very, very Disney logic there. Like, oh, baking soda. Like the demon's made of baking soda. I should use vinegar.
well, what do you think's going on here? I mean, like, it's all Disney logic. That's everything.
Yeah. I mean, Disney is a very powerful company. I think I'm going to name my kid Walt.
I'm going to name my son Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
And then I'm going to beat the shit out of him every day.
how about Dolan Duck?
I want to name my kid Epcot.
That's a good
Little
one.
Epcot, get over here and beat the shit out of you.
Come over here, Epcot. Show me what solar panels are.
So the thing is this guy had been around TJ on Monticello. He was part of the Republican camp for so long, so he knew things about TJ that
TJ
most
didn't
people
know.
didn't.
Oh.
One of those things was the whole Sally Hemming, the 14-year-old slave that he owned, that he was
Oh,
banging.
thank you.
Right,
Thank
right.
you
Oh,
for
so you're like a
reminding us.
rapist, Thomas, I think?
So this was part of his hit piece against the president, was he spilled the beans about Sally. And of course, other papers started to investigate, and they found more and more evidence towards Sally. And they came up with some very terrible names for her. Things like Dusky Sally, Black Sally, African Venus, or this one is probably the funniest, Mahogany Colored Charmer.
All of those are compliments.
You
I
know,
have no idea what's going on.
Why did they have to add colored in? Like, that's like Mahogany Charmer works
Yeah.
much better than either way. I mean, I thought it was going to be real bad, like
No.
dusty old bones full of green dust. That would be bad.
Yeah, these are like second grader fucking
That's like
comments.
shit
You know what I
Home
mean? Like,
Depot.
So
The paint section.
So let's talk about his presidency. We're in the home run stretch here. So home
Wanna hit a
run
home
7
run,
inning stretch.
jump
You heard it here first. Take it home with you.
sports ball.
Sportsmen.
Sports.
So Jefferson was kind of like the invisible president. He only gave 2 speeches, and it was his first and second inauguration.
Nice.
So emo. I love it.
His whole
Batting
goal,
1,000.
yeah, his whole goal was to dismantle the government, and to review all of like the unnecessary fat and zero the national debt, which sounds good, right?
Sounds great.
I like
that shit
that.
probably took forever back then. It just fucking makes me so mad just thinking about shit like that. How
Wait,
slow
what?
everything was back then.
No, elaborate.
You mean like zeroing the national debt?
Yeah, that's just taking a while now.
I mean, we were able to create more debt. I don't want to get political again. I'm too political right now. Stop it.
I've
Next
been
time,
drinking, yeah.
next time we're doing Benny Goodman or something. Let's have jazz.
I was just talking about like everything in general back then. Like to like write a letter, you had to like wait for someone to read it.
Yeah, you had to. It took forever to make a cup of tea.
Yeah,
you had to make the
tea.
fire.
Yeah, make a fire.
I would love to see Mike like try and hit on a woman via letter back in the day.
I'd be
Just, like,
perfect. I told you.
all the
I
letter
went to
says is, like,
community
you
college.
up.
I could write.
His handwriting looks like Comic Sans. It's
I
incredible.
have beautiful handwriting. I'll just put you all to shame right now. Give
Well,
me a piece of paper.
Just put us to shame later. Let's finish the
Well,
script.
you just have to dunk your dick in the ink and just slap it on
Yeah.
the paper.
It's like
It's
a big
really
Sharpie.
thin penis.
It's a big fat Sharpie.
So
Ew, Mike.
So it might make sense today as Zero the Dead, but this was a fresh country and may have not been the best strat here. Also, TJ was one of those presidents, like most, that talk about zeroing the debt, but then end up spending a whole bunch of money. That's any Republican.
That's any
They could have just made this
politician,
shit
really.
up back then. Like, oh, we have this much money in the
Not
bank.
not Bill Clinton, not him.
Hey, zero debt.
He may have had the dirtiest dick in the White House, but you know what he did? He did nice by the debt.
No,
Yeah.
he had the most polished and like antiseptic dick in the White House.
Have you guys seen that picture with him with the masseuse that was from Epstein's Island? Very funny. He looks super relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you never see a president relaxed. So that was nice.
Yeah.
Was
Obama
Hillary
on a
there?
jet
Felt
ski.
good.
No, it was
You think Hillary was there?
It was a little Slovenian blonde rubbing his back, rubbing his fat, like,
Ugh.
Do you know that Hillary
Yeah.
pegs, though?
He definitely
Definitely.
pegged him.
Well,
Definitely.
she's
Hillary
she's-
Spikes.
That's cool. I respect it. Bill's into it.
Sound.
Hey,
Look,
okay,
I'm just
Bill.
saying we judge people on these things. It's just like maybe he did get pretty close to zero debt on that. Well, look, NAFTA. Let's go.
Yeah.
boy.
So Jefferson first set out on dismantling the Navy. That was his first. He was like, we don't need these dumb boats.
Yeah, fuck
Great.
that
Get rid of
shit. Fucking sailing takes forever. Get a fucking plane, idiots. Come on.
Well, I mean, most of the revenue of the
Good,
country
Mike.
came out of the ports. We don't need to protect those at all. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Get them out of the ocean.
What could go wrong?
So he starts cutting funds, and then the Muslims in northern Africa on the Barbary coast declared war on America.
Really?
Yes.
Lovely.
So Muslim piracy had been a thing in the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf for a while. Actually, Jefferson had tried to convince the Articles of Confederation to declare war on the Muslim sultans back when he was a French diplomat. Now, interesting fact, the Muslims actually had a larger volume of slaves, white slaves, than the transatlantic slave trade in the 18th century.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
there's one for white people. It's been a weird year, you know.
Right?
I don't feel so bad anymore.
So anyway, now that Jefferson was president, he could start he had an excuse. He really didn't need to go to the war. I mean, these were like pirates. They're like, we declare war on you. You could have just been like, all right.
Ah, war on pirates,
Like
dude. You need a
giant-
war
it's
on
not a
an
nation.
idea, so you could just endlessly run up the bill.
Yeah, so he basically started the first like war in Iraq, in a
War
war
on
called
drugs.
the Barbary Wars, which we don't really hear about.
It's
This is the first time I'm hearing it.
a lot more brutal than the Burberry Wars.
Ooh. But yeah, this was pretty much a war like George Bush in the Middle East.
A fake
But
war.
but again, like he had just started to dismantle the Navy, and now he's like, I need fucking ships.
Oh,
So he
no.
has to spend money to rebuild ships to send over to Africa.
We
even
took them
though-
all apart.
Even though like those ships were going over there and not protecting the ports of America.
Of course.
Strategic.
So this war lasted 4 years. You may have
Fuck.
heard the Marines hymn. It goes like this. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Yeah, I've heard of that before tons of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real banger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the shores
I like
of
it.
Tripoli were actually talking about a beach landing in the first Barbary War. Now you know.
Life's a
When you
beach.
hear it on the radio, the Marines hymn.
Yeah, the top 40s.
There we go. When PC Richards used that little, there, you know what's up.
Muslims.
So this was also a problem that he had dismantled. And I keep mentioning the fact that the ports are undefended. So Jefferson left office in 1809, and 3 years later was the War of 1812, where the British completely stomped our ass and burnt the capital down. One of the reasons why they could do that was because we had no navy to stop them. They had
Why
all
you gotta
been
bring this up?
destroyed in Africa.
Oops.
Oh, God.
Oops.
Smart. We're real smart.
Yeah,
America.
good.
Freedom.
All right, let's talk about the big one with Jefferson's presidency. It's the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, boy.
We got gumbo.
More fires. Oh, no.
Mhm.
Is that how it goes? That Popeye's commercial?
Love them chicken at Popeyes.
So like
Louisiana, doing it right.
that lady's nice, but they're going to cancel her, too.
Why? I
I
love
don't know.
Popeyes.
They got Aunt Jemima banned.
What'd Aunt Jemima do?
She, I don't know.
Uncle Ben.
Apparently she
Uncle
was
Ben's
oppressed.
fucking gone.
Uncle Ben?
They're all going.
What about Quaker Oats? Get that guy out of here.
He's a fucking asshole.
He's adorable.
Rapist.
He's a fucking rapist, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Never
Did
mind.
you know that guy's actually, he's a midget?
Cody,
No.
Cody, you should hate the oats, man. He took away from your fucking family business.
Holland Oats.
McCann
Oh,
oats.
that's true. Yeah, steel cut. McCann's Irish.
So the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, Napoleon sold off all of the French territory in North America. That was a whopping 530 million acres. He sold them to the Americans for $5 million. So much for no government spending.
Sheesh. That's a company expense.
Yeah. TJ did get a good deal, and roughly it worked out that every acre was bought for 3 cents. Imagine getting an acre for 3 cents.
You know, even accounting for inflation, that's pretty good
Pretty
deal.
good.
That's
Yeah.
a good deal.
You get
Yeah.
the bayou
Wait,
and
so what
shit
was the-
down there too.
Free bayou.
What was the entire tab again? Like 15K?
15 million.
Oh, 15 million.
Yeah, with an M.
A
Without
little
that,
steeper than I thought it was, but yeah, still cheap.
without that, we wouldn't have swamp people.
It's
There-
true. We
there
wouldn't
are-
have Cajun, Raging
Yeah,
Cajun.
we'd
we would
have
have
that-
the,
that TV.
the X-Man.
Yeah. Which X-Men? Wait, hold on. What?
Gambit.
What is he from
Oh,
Louisiana?
Louisiana?
He's
I
the
didn't know
Raging
that.
Cajun, dude. He can
What's
make
his-
his
what's
cards
his real
explode.
name?
Oh, I love Gambit.
LeBeau?
He's sick.
Yeah.
What's up with his like headgear? It's just like a scarf around his head,
Oh, it's like a hard scarf.
but it like shows his '90s hair.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
It's called
such a
being
fucking-
metrosexual.
That was 92, Tom.
All
What
right.
92 was
Nope.
like.
Cody, no one uses that term anymore.
You know what term?
I know.
don't
That's
use
why it
enough?
was the 90s. I'm taking a deep dive.
Yeah,
You said
good
some
point.
pretty antiquated terms, Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Learn something
mahogany
every day. Mahogany
Charmer.
colored
Charmer, yeah.
charmer. That's so bad.
Sounds like I said before, like a fucking like a catalog. You pick out like colors and shit. Mahogany.
Yeah, it's a
Something.
Crayola color.
Yeah,
Sounds like a porn star or a pro wrestler. I can't figure it out.
colored charmer.
Dummy thick mahogany gets it. Oh, I should stop. It's from
Well done.
Fucking Johnson's.
Yeah, Johnson gets it. So a lot of people think that the reason why Jefferson was able to pull this off was that he loved the French, dude. Had a good relationship.
But he
Up in
hated
there,
those
he's like,
fuckers.
I'm like two fromage.
Yeah,
Do fromage.
I'm like deuce fromage.
what you do?
Royale
bro?
with cheese, bitch. Yeah.
But in reality, Thomas Jefferson had closed all ports to all foreigners, and he kind of was over his whole French thing. But the person who really made the deal, again, it wasn't Thomas Jefferson, it was James Monroe, because James Monroe was the ambassador to France.
Oh,
But
Sounds like Jimmy is like the real hero of this episode.
Jimmy.
Jimmy?
James
Yeah.
Monroe?
Jimmy.
Oh, well, this is a different one. This is James
Oh, excuse
Monroe.
me. Oh,
There
let's
was a
just say
James Madison.
There's
Yeah, a
an
lot of
eternal
Jims.
Jimmy. There's an
Yeah.
eternal Jimmy just getting shit done behind the scenes. It seems.
Shout out
Just
to
off the
Jimmy's.
hook.
But TJ actually broke the Constitution by like going around Congress to contact James Monroe, and they didn't approve the sale. Like Congress was supposed to approve the sale, and TJ was like, "No, dude, I want to spend all the money. Buy it."
Oh,
All right.
It's like an episode of Pawn Stars.
Now, in reality, Napoleon was having a field day mashing
Oi.
Europe, and Thomas Jefferson kind of just got lucky because Napoleon wanted to get rid of this territory he wasn't using so he could keep mashing Europe. And he would have sold it to the Spanish, but they were also in Europe. Can't have your competitor.
you guys are
Guys,
touching
ammo.
tips. Like those
Yeah.
countries, they're border
Jousting.
pals, and Napoleon is probably trying to get their paella recipe out from under them. He can't let them know.
Yeah.
He can't give them anything they want. Now, Louisiana Purchase, technically, no Florida, right?
No, Florida
No,
was
no.
included.
Ugh.
I thought it was
Wait.
not included. I thought it was later.
That's from the
There was
Spanish.
Florida was contested, so Florida was
Oh.
included in the Louisiana Purchase.
Right, but then they reneged it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Florida man.
TJ, who was a man that claimed to respect personal liberty and like every man has the right to vote and like this democratic thing, right? That's what we think about him.
Right.
He hated autocratic societies and monarchies. But the thing was, when after the purchase, when New Orleans and the Louisiana Territory was brought in, TJ stepped in and essentially became king. He appointed all positions of government, and the people had no rights to vote.
Oh, that's new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, not either.
yeah.
Wow.
That's fine.
Quincy Adams actually said there was a greater federal and executive power than Washington and Adams administrations combined.
Wow.
In fact, TJ had more total power than King George over the colonies.
Wow. Look at that. King Jeff.
King Jeffy.
That's why he's on $2 bill.
Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about with his presidency, and this kind of ties in with the Louisiana Purchase, is that Jefferson was obsessed with Western expansionism. So,
Manifest Destiny.
yeah, Mike loves Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, you gotta manifest everything in your life.
Yeah.
That's how easy life is. You just gotta manifest it.
Also-
Else, like I'm gonna be a loser by 25.
Don't let any Indians get in your way. Just fucking manifest it, dude. Like when you want that
Damn
taquito at 7-Eleven,
Damn straight.
you're not going to let them get in the way.
Also, one of my favorite porn stars, Manifest Destiny.
Oh, dude, that would
That's
be
a
a
real
great
person?
porn star.
Hot,
It's a girl.
maybe.
No.
It's a they.
Well, I
It's
hope
a
so.
it's a concept.
manifest destiny.
So shortly after the Louisiana Purchase, he sent out the Lewis and Clark expedition. Actually,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, Lewis Meriwether was actually Jefferson's personal secretary.
Oi.
Mm.
So gave him some gibbers every once in a while.
Little
you know.
jazz hands on the desk.
Do you know one of the reasons why we know like how like specific, how precise we are with like the Lewis and Clark trail? Is like, yes, those two were good at bookkeeping, but I think one of them also took mercury to like cure the shits, so we can like metal detect like one of their turd trails and like
Really?
fairly easily like pin their like waypoints to a map.
What's interesting is like I feel like when we did history in school, like they talked about that maybe one day, but apparently on the West Coast they talk about that shit all the time. Like that's a
how they
big
got
part-
there.
Yeah.
And bros, if you want to really dive into history, so you gotta understand is Lewis and dog. They had a dog, and that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, they made it. They made it all the way to the West Coast using the ride scooters with the apps.
Well, it's the same, it's location. Like we're on Long Island, so we got to take these kids to Ellis Island
yeah,
to know where their family may have come from. Am I right?
you're right.
I always want the splish splash.
So the
This is a good place to
expansion,
go to.
the expansion of Americans to the West Coast, white Americans. Although Jefferson claimed to love the Native American cultures, and because it was so close to this Anglo-Saxon fantasy that he had. When in reality, I mean, before the Normans showed up, Anglo-Saxons were still involved in feudalism, so they didn't live this like free utopian life. The whole living off the land shit. He loved to talk about all that. But when it came down to, he's like, "You guys really need to move because like white people need to come in now." So Indians, get out of
Excuse
here.
We
you.
gotta ruin shit.
Excuse
Get outta
you.
Yeah.
Why are you crying? Stop shedding tears.
Yeah, come on.
So we talk about Andrew Jackson a lot with like the whole Trail of Tears, right? But actually, Jefferson was one of the first people to start that, where he's like, "Yo, all you tribes, go over the Mississippi. You can go over there."
There's
Yeah.
good land over there.
Get out of here. We got to put Payless shoe stores here.
I gotta put up Popeyes here soon.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Can
also
a couple of you stay to man the fryer?
also, I mean, even though it was like basically the purchase was like, all right, French control everything to the
West
of the Mississippi. Somehow Thomas Jefferson was like, yeah, but like there's also parts over the Mississippi that we do own. Those parts were owned by the Spanish, modern day Texas.
Oh, well, the Republic of Texas.
But back then it wasn't called Texas. It was actually called West Florida.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I've never heard of this.
That's heinous.
That's right, Texans.
Florida.
You were West Floridians at one point.
Dude, I bet you that's the easiest way to start a fight in this country. Go up
from
to a
West
Texan
Florida.
and just be like, hello, West Floridian.
I would, you know what? If I moved to Texas, like one of these comedian folks who have been doing that, I would go for the old. Let's get that on the license plate. West Florida. It's the place of freedom, cattle ranch. We fry shit better than you. Apparently, I don't know. Is the oil different? Absolutely not.
We got football there.
Yeah, man, mowing grass.
do.
We got high school football games every week here.
In Florida.
We have snow once a century.
It's
And Ted
fucking
Cruz leads.
Crazy.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Our
The
governor
original
hates us.
West Florida.
He was cold. Leave him alone.
So after Jefferson's presidency, after he left office, he returned back to Monticello and he did some rich slave owning shit. He was constantly rebuilding Monticello over and over again.
It was like
And-
a sex dungeon, right? You're saying? This is
Well, yeah,
Monticello?
he was just like, I don't like it. It doesn't look French enough. Oh, wait, I hate the French. Let me rebuild it like Italians. So this was just racking up debt. When you just like constantly renovate your house.
Right.
you know?
Yeah. You don't just build another house because then you can have two of things.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, like any slave-owning Southerner, he pretended to be English nobility off credit, yada, yada, yada. For the remaining years of his life after the presidency, he was continually selling off assets just to stay afloat. He tried to keep Monticello like his last like bastion, but he owned other. Obviously, I said he was like 5,000 acres, and he probably grew after that.
We've been mispronouncing that name the entire episode,
Monticello?
by the way.
Was it Monticello?
Monticello,
Yeah.
Monticello. I'm not Italian, dude.
Hey,
I
forget it.
just like it
Monticello.
clicked in my head and I Googled
Yeah,
it real
mozzarella.
quick. Sorry.
Oh my God! It's actually Montana.
Yeah, Montana.
It's been Montana the whole time.
Turner.
So it kind of makes sense that this was like the guy that was like, why America in debt? Fuck debt. People don't owe anything to anyone. When essentially Jefferson was just stealing from people, like stealing from creditors. And I'm not trying to like take the side of like the debt collectors and creditors, but it's kind of like those people that are like, I don't feel bad for people that like work at Jimmy John's and buy like a Audi R8, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I want Jimmy John's right now.
you would.
I'm fucking starving.
You know what I mean? This guy's like just purchasing expensive shit when he doesn't have the money.
That's American way.
Yeah, you got to
Fucking-
pace
that is
yourself.
the American way. Buying shit with money you don't have.
The American way is really preaching the opposite of that, though, and then
Oh.
behaving like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's really destructive to say the term or drill this into little kids' heads, like sharing is caring, because
That's obscene. Fuck you.
Hate sharing people
because
that suck.
it's not that sharing is bad. It's just like you're just raising these little conflicted idiots. If you just tell them out of the womb, get yours, then it all lines up.
Very Randy.
It all
of
just
you.
lines up.
Yeah, 'cause everything's
Get
just a
yours
giant
and you put the
competition.
milk bottle at the top of the stairs.
Exactly. Just get yours and then worry about your ass.
Who can trample over the other person faster? That's what it is.
Not the baby.
Look, if people want to reflect as they grow older, maybe they were wrong in school about that one. That's fine. But the other way is detrimental. It creates some real school shooters.
Hey, Mike, would you like to ask me the question?
How does Thomas Jefferson get deaded?
So Jefferson's health began to slowly deteriorate over the early 19th century. John Adams actually made up with him, and they started to like, because they were the two last founding fathers. So there's this whole series of letters where like,
Started dying.
yo, you remember when we nutted in Washington's denture jar? And then he
Yeah.
like took Cornwallis, and like Cornwallis had to smell like cum. when
Those
he
were the
surrendered.
days.
No.
Those are the days, baby.
Those were the days, baby.
Your cum smelled so good. I miss you so much, TJ.
So in 1826, he was so desperate for cash that he convinced the Virginia government to hold a lottery as a fundraiser
Oh,
so
my
he could
God.
keep his estate and slaves.
Damn, down and
Oh.
out, Thomas.
Yeah.
Shit. What a fucking idiot.
So everyone like frowns upon like, oh, the lottery. You can't use that. But it's like the fucking same time. We do stupider shit to gain money, like taxes.
Like the stock market.
Yeah.
Stock market's smart, man. Very
Not
smart.
the way
man.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're
I'm short selling.
Playing
fucking
the ponies.
Poshmark.
Fuck! No, Mike's in like the shallow end of the pool.
Yeah,
of the
Green
stock
Pro Capital
market.
fucking means some Chinese like e-cigarette company. I don't even fucking know. Got all these terrible
Mike's trying to
stocks my
invest in
fucking
7-Eleven.
coworkers trying to get me in on so he could fucking gain profits.
you work in a warehouse, correct?
Yes.
Of sorts.
I'm a forklift certified handsome devil.
Right. So, well, I'm willing
Let's
to
let
wager.
that simmer
I'm
for
willing
a
to
second.
wager that you don't exactly work with prime investors.
This motherfucker's smart.
Yeah.
I'm dumb as shit because he's just getting me to fucking jack up the price so he can short sell.
He's getting you as soon as Mike
He's
puts
fucking
money in.
Wow.
He's telling me it's all about fucking it's about fucking trampling people. Like you want to fucking build on people's hope.
Let's
and
finish
crush
the
them.
episode. We'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So at this point,
Shorting.
Thomas Jefferson was fucked. He had rheumatism in his arm and wrist because probably
Ooh.
jerking too much,
Yeah.
as well as intestinal and urinary disorders. The dude had a lot of diarrhea. He pooped a lot when he was old.
Good. He's probably vegetarian.
What they wipe with?
he
back
actually he actually was kind of a vegetarian. He didn't eat a lot of meat.
then? What they wipe with back then?
Hands.
Hands? They just use their
Use your
leaf?
fingernail. You
Well-
scrape. It's callous.
Ah.
Jefferson
Urgh.
just used slaves.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's
So
terrible.
you give the slave a melon baller and tell him
Jeez.
good luck.
Slave, bring me some cotton for my asshole.
Oh God.
He said it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, fuck. Thomas
Yeah, he
Jefferson.
said it.
Fucking
just
shit.
like that. Sticking his head out of the fucking moon-shaped outhouse window. Hey, slave! It's me, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, we know that voice anywhere, sir.
Oh, this fucking guy. I gotta wipe this fucking idiot's ass again. Oh, fuck this shit.
Man, I can't wait till he falls down some goddamn stairs.
So he became completely bedridden, and this is a very strange death. So Thomas Jefferson died July 4th,
Oh,
1826,
Good.
which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
that's not ironic.
He was
Wow.
83 years old, and he died a few hours before John Adams died
Oh.
the same day. So both of them died on the 50th anniversary of the D of Independence.
Yeah,
Did-
they probably like got into some bad tequila or something.
Did they open some kind of Indian tomb together at the same time?
Yes, they found the Ark.
Yeah, like, oh, open it. Now we got a week to live.
Yeah, no, they were digging around those Indian burial mounds, and they decided to build a house on it together. And
It's just like, do you want to open it first? I think we should open it together. Opens it up. Green dust everywhere. Well, I
they
wonder what
breathe
that
it in
was.
thinking
Oh,
it'll
feels
get them
so
high.
Good.
Oh, feel good.
Someone
so
wipe my butt.
some people say that Thomas Jefferson's last words were, "Is it the 4th?" But that's bullshit. Because I mean, he was reliving the revolution in his laudanum semi-conscious state during the past
Good
day.
stuff.
But his actual words were unintelligible, except for his slave that was in the room, who could obviously understand it. He was asking to adjust his pillow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you adjust
All
my
right.
pillow? He's like fucking.
Smothering him.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll adjust it.
Hey, shithead, your fucking poopy ass fucking pants. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
good
pay you
description,
so
Mike.
you
You've been
fucking-
paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
I see you.
Adams, however, his last words were recorded, and it was Thomas Jefferson survives. But the thing was, Thomas Jefferson had died a few hours before Adams.
man.
Oh, just to get the news.
Whoop.
Damn.
Well,
man.
he
Didn't
might-
have Twitter back
Yeah.
then.
He might as well have just sang the words to "I Saw the Witch Doctor" because it had the same relevance. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, just all the way. Well, that's a good one, Travis. Thanks for telling us how the forefather did it.
Yeah. So, just a quick postmortem. Essentially, Jefferson had bankrupted himself in the past part of his life. And his estates and almost 150 slaves were sold in auction after his death. As I mentioned, there was only 5 slaves, and none of them were his children or
That's
baby mama.
That's
Or
horrible.
are these ones like his whore, like the ones he liked to fuck the most or some shit? Like
I think he released his cook or something. and,
Someone who really figured out that egg. You know?
yeah.
you make a mean egg, you're good to go.
Eggs are important, man.
I think he had a slave called Jupiter that was like my man.
Oh.
You know, like the guy that like his buddy.
Oh, his
Oh,
life
the
coach.
valet.
Yeah,
life
who
coach.
hated his guts, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, like
peeing in
I,
his coffee
I've
every
always
morning.
wanted to have a man like that, but like not a slave, just someone who I pay $30,000 a year to
Well,
live.
Mike's right there.
It's coming. The question's coming
Professional
later.
intern.
Yeah, professional intern, all the way.
So yes, this man who constantly said, "Yo, I don't like slavery," could have easily emancipated all of his slaves, but in the end,
Mm.
Monticello was sold at auction. Most of his slaves were sold to other bastards. And yeah, go fuck yourself, Thomas Jefferson. You're a shitty hypocrite president.
Oh,
You also hated slaves.
Rest in grease.
Or loved slaves, but hated them deep down.
Well, yeah, he stuck his dick in them.
Abraham
but,
Schlinken.
yeah.
Abraham.
Love hate.
Abraham Schlinken.
Abraham. Well,
Did he hate slaves? Low
Yeah.
key.
well, we'll get into Abraham
Did we
Lincoln.
do
He
an
actually,
episode on him?
Abraham Lincoln quoted Jefferson a whole bunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when it's just words, sure. All the single ladies, please get your slave labor scarves. That's
Mike, did you know Abraham Lincoln's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame?
No, I did not know that. Really?
who did he take
Yeah,
down?
no,
wrestled
he just.
someone?
Oh yeah, he's an amazing wrestler.
He wrestled those men
He's
in
got
the
that
cabin.
big hat.
Yeah,
It's
they
hard to
call him-
grab that big hat.
they
He
call him
took
the
that off
stovepipe.
when he wrestled.
Stovepipe.
They call him Stovepipe. He used to come out and go, you, General Lee, have not seen the end of me, sir. I will show you what it's like to smoke
Cigarette.
freedom
And General Lee was like, "Listen here, brother.
No.
It's my right to own these slaves."
He used to build like houses out of logs, right, Abe?
Yeah, that's what he
He's
did. He
fucking
was
probably
born.
jacked out of his fucking brains.
Yeah,
Hey,
Lincoln Logs.
hey, Mike, why don't you write a script about fucking the little boy?
Mike's got a good one. He told me he was doing
Oh,
earlier.
you got one.
Got
All
one.
right.
Oh, he's brewing.
He's brewing,
Next
dude.
week.
We'll
we'll
just say the
Oh,
60s are
okay.
coming to town.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
So with
Little
that,
doo-wop.
I gotta say, we've been running a little long. Try to keep these shorter. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for doing the old research,
Thanks,
Travis.
Travis.
Yeah.
I gotta do
Mike
coffee
on
out of
fire
mine.
tonight. Wow,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
fun. I'm glad you made it.
A lot of bears.
Cody, you are here. You did it as well.
I tried.
I did it. You know what you can do, listener? You can go to patreon.com/roastmortemcast. Give us your money.
Please.
You know, because at the end of the day, what do we want?
Well, why don't you
Money.
just send us all your $2 bills?
Yeah,
They're
please.
worthless anyway.
Yeah. Send
Give
us
me-
a $2 tier. We
Wait,
will
how-
reprint
what?
it.
Send me acid through the mail in an envelope, please.
Yeah. But
Don't
Mike
put
wants
that
to
out
be
there.
scared for
You'll
the rest
probably
of his
get
life.
that.
I want to get
if you ask
paranoia.
nicely.
I'm looking for paranoia.
That's
stuff.
not that drug.
Yeah,
Mike,
honestly,
you're supposed to boof it.
our listeners have been very generous with their drugs.
Yes,
I will not say
they
anyone's
really have.
name, but thank you.
There's more than
yeah,
there's
more than one,
two
yes.
of them. Oh, two.
Yeah.
So, Mike, just put your
My house address in the description of this video.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
like and subscribe.
Yeah, the video of the
Yeah, the
podcast. You know, what's
Hit
going
that
on. I like
notification
this.
button.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to give us drugs, rate us 5 out of 5 stars on the old iTunes. Tell Tim Cook he could stuff it. We're funnier than him.
Mhm.
And bonjour. Thanks, everyone.
Arrivederci.
Love you guys.
I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I hate. And I won't poop my pants like TJ when I take a pee, but I accidentally did that shit. Now I got shit run down my leg, but I'm still peeing.
Really good.
That's it. I forgot how the PC Richard. Radio.
Sponsored by PC. Sponsored by The Wiz. Nobody beats it.
No one.